Let's start with something most people won't admit out loud. Have you ever tried law of attraction techniques, visualization, affirmations, staying positive, and felt like, despite your effort, nothing really changed? Maybe you stuck with it for a few weeks, maybe even a few months. You tried to believe, you tried to feel aligned, but the results didn't match the expectations. And eventually, you started wondering, why does this seem to work for some people but not for me? That question is more common than you think, and today we're going to break it down, not from a motivational angle, but from a structural one. Because the real reason most law of attraction techniques fail has less to do with the idea itself, and more to do with how people apply it. The simplified version. Everyone learns. Most people are introduced to the law of attraction through a very simplified model. Think positive thoughts. Visualize what you want. Feel as if you already have it. The idea is that your internal state influences your external reality, and to a certain degree that idea makes sense. Your mindset affects your behavior affects your decisions shape your outcomes. But here's where the problem begins. This simplified version focuses almost entirely on the conscious mind, and it ignores a much more powerful system: the subconscious mind. The missing layer: subconscious programming. Your subconscious mind stores patterns, habits, emotional responses, automatic beliefs, and most of these patterns were formed long before you ever started thinking about manifestation. They were shaped by your environment growing up, your experiences with success and failure, what you observed about money, opportunity, and risk. These patterns don't disappear just because you start thinking positively. They continue influencing your behavior behind the scenes. The internal mismatch that slows results. Here's what often happens. You consciously repeat affirmations like, "I attract wealth," "I am successful," "My life is improving." But subconsciously, you might still carry beliefs like, "Money is stressful," "Success is risky," "Things don't work out for me." This creates an internal mismatch, two different systems sending two different signals. And when that happens, the subconscious usually wins. Not because it's stronger in a dramatic sense, but because it controls your automatic behavior. Why behavior matters more than words. Many law of attraction techniques focus on what you think, but your results are shaped by what you do consistently. And what you do is heavily influenced by subconscious patterns. For example, you may consciously want a better financial opportunity, but if your subconscious associates opportunity with risk, you may hesitate to act. You may delay decisions. You may overanalyze. You may avoid taking the next step. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But internally, your behavior is being guided by patterns you're not fully aware of. The illusion of doing everything right. One of the most frustrating experiences is feeling like you're doing everything correctly and still not seeing results. You're visualizing, you're affirming, you're staying positive, but progress feels slow. This creates doubt, and that doubt can lead to one of two reactions. Either you give up on the concept entirely, or you try to force it harder. More affirmations, more visualization, more effort. But if the underlying issue is subconscious resistance, increasing surface-level effort doesn't solve the problem. It often increases frustration. Why this becomes more noticeable? Over time, for people in their 30s and beyond, this issue tends to become more obvious. Because by this stage, subconscious patterns are more deeply established. You've had years of experiences shaping your beliefs. Financial ups and downs, career challenges, personal setbacks. All of these experiences reinforce certain expectations. So when you try to apply law of attraction techniques without addressing those deeper patterns, progress feels inconsistent. The concept of internal alignment. A more accurate way to think about manifestation is through the idea of alignment. Alignment means your thoughts, emotions, and subconscious beliefs are all pointing in the same direction. When that happens, your decisions become clearer. Your actions become more consistent. Your confidence becomes more natural. And those changes influence your results over time. But when alignment is missing, progress slows down, because part of you is moving forward, while another part is holding back. What actually changes results? So if most techniques fail when applied at the surface level, what actually makes a difference? It's not about abandoning the idea completely. It's about going deeper. Instead of focusing only on what you consciously think, you begin examining the beliefs that are already operating in the background. You ask questions like, what do I actually believe about money? Do I associate success with freedom or pressure? What expectations do I carry based on past experiences? These questions help uncover patterns that influence your behavior every day. The shift most people never make. Most people stay focused on trying to attract results. But a more effective shift is to focus on removing internal resistance, because when resistance decreases, your behavior naturally becomes more aligned with your goals. And when behavior aligns, results tend to follow. This is why some people eventually experience a turning point. Not because they discovered a new affirmation, but because they began addressing deeper patterns. A more realistic perspective. Understanding this can change how you approach manifestation. It becomes less about quick results and more about internal clarity, less about forcing positivity and more about reducing contradiction. This perspective doesn't promise instant outcomes, but it does provide a more realistic explanation for why progress sometimes feels slow. Final thoughts. If you've tried law of attraction techniques and felt like they didn't work, it doesn't necessarily mean the concept is flawed. More often, it means something deeper was never addressed. The subconscious mind plays a major role in shaping behavior, decisions, and long-term outcomes, and understanding that role can change the way you approach personal growth. On this channel, we explore these deeper mechanisms, how subconscious patterns influence manifestation, success, and financial progress. If this topic resonates with you and you want to continue learning, make sure to subscribe. In future videos, we'll explore how these patterns develop and why certain approaches seem to create faster internal shifts than others. And if you're curious about the framework that focuses specifically on addressing the subconscious beliefs that often slow down manifestation, you can review the information linked in the description and the pinned comment below. It connects directly to what we discussed today and offers additional material for those who want to explore the topic further. Take your time, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.